Food has always built community. We celebrate, form new relationships, and comfort our friends with the help of our local restaurants. In these uncertain times, we still want to support and honor our local restaurants, so we'll continue bringing you new episodes of Check Please Bay Area, recorded earlier this year.
And it changed my life. I just wiped the whole plate clean.
It's got the original Cantonese recipe with the California spin.
Put your seatbelt on. It is fire.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by the following sponsors, whom we gratefully acknowledge for their steadfast support during these uncertain times.
At Redwood Credit Union, we help people achieve their financial goals together, offering customized full-service personal and business banking for the North Bay and San Francisco. Redwood Credit Union.
Total Wine & More, offering more than 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 3,000 spirits. Total Wine & More, now with 9 Bay Area locations. TotalWine.com. The Bay Area airport that's close and reliable. iFlyOAK.com.
It's the national recognition for healthcare equality. It's 1,000 things, big and small. Sutter Health.
Hi, I'm Leslie Sbrocco. Welcome to Check Please Bay Area, the show where regular Bay Area residents review and talk about their favorite restaurants. Now we have 3 guests, and each one recommends one of their favorite spots, and the other 2 go check them out to see what they think. This week, dermatologist Jason Fung will share his high-end Cantonese restaurant with a modern twist in San Francisco's Chinatown. And emergency room nurse MJ Baker brings us to her Thai food gem hidden in El Cerrito's classic movie theater district. But first, financial advisor Anthony Napple takes us to his spot nestled in an industrial area of Richmond. This small, intimate space makes you feel like you're going to a dinner party at a friend's house. One of the smallest restaurants in Check Please's history, this is Anavivs Table.
As a catering business, we've been around for 15 years, and all of our clients ask how they can have our delicious food again, and do we have a restaurant? For a long time I resisted of having a big restaurant, but once we moved here, we had this nice room, we decided to give it a shot. We have a restaurant for 10, 12 people in a communal setting. When people get here, they will get a multi-course prix-fixe dinner. We focus on local ingredients, things that definitely in season, and our chef go to the farmer's market and from this inspiration creates the dinner. I just love to see this table hold this beautiful gathering. You know, we have people here that never met before, and they live here friends. My intentions are for people to remember this place as a unique gathering place and sharing delicious and nourishing food and wine and conversation here in this unique place in Richmond. It just brings people together in a beautiful way.
Anthony, this is a tiny spot, isn't it? I mean, this really is more like going to a friend's for dinner.
In a strange location, you swing down the road and there's a Burger King right there, and you'll drive right past it if you don't know exactly where you're going.
Well, tell us a little bit about the setup of it.
Well, you walk in and the table is right there in front of you. It's fully dressed and there's some art on the wall and just a very comfortable, warm place to engage. There's 6 other people in our case that you've never met before, so you get to come in and kind of introduce yourself and hey, how you doing, and where do you live and what do you do, and that kind of environment.
Right.
But there's hors d'oeuvres laid out there, and you can ask questions about the preparation and how everything came to be. And I love that it's primarily all local sourced food. I think that's just such a critical part of Bay Area dining. across the
Well,
street.
and each of you might have had a different experience in terms of the menu that you had, right? Jason, why don't you tell me about your experience when you came in the door?
Sure, yeah. Well, we were invited to the kitchen right at the beginning for some small bites, and we had some sort of cheeses and crudités, which were quite good. Some duck rillette, some galette with winter squash. It was kind of a nice opportunity to just have a cocktail and get to know the other guests and get to know the chef.
Right.
It's not even really so much restaurant, I would say, as just this kind of this California
Permanent
culinary experience. Yeah, it's a really special place, and I love the small, intimate setting. Really loved it.
Did you enjoy that ambiance, MJ?
I did. I really want to thank you for getting me to this place. It's 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a warehouse. The outside of it looks like a warehouse, and you walk in and it's like someone's home. It was great. We started off with a French 75 cocktail.
One of my favorites.
Yes,
the
it
French
was
75.
it was awesome.
Little gin, little bubbles.
Yep, yep.
And what were your appetizers?
We had, like you had said, 3 local cheeses, charcuterie plate, these amazing arancini balls with mushroom and cheesy center and gooey in the middle, and this outside coating was great. It was in this aioli with a chimichurri. It was awesome.
And once you have the sort of appetizers in the kitchen, tell me about when you're seated, the experience.
Then you go back to where you were sitting, and there's some olives on the table, and the salads. Both times that I went, the salads were just fantastic. The dressing was a smoked carrot and ginger dressing, and it just works so well with the chicory and the daikon radishes, and that gets you going, and it's paired nicely with a Sauvignon
Because the wine
Blanc.
pairings are included,
yep.
and they're quite lovely wine selections.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
We had the chicory salad with the carrot ginger dressing, which was fantastic. The miso soup, sort of charred scallions and smoked the tofu, so it was a much smokier version of miso soup than I've had before. It was really quite unique, I thought. The hamachi crudo, she had sourced that from Monterey Fish Market, and some pickled chili, some chili oil, just a really fantastic sashimi bite. And then the entree was this gochujang braised short rib, served with sticky rice and kimchi fermented in-house. It was just
And do you remember the wines
fantastic.
that were sort of paired along with those?
I actually don't, but
It was a
but I'm
were
guessing
very
Anthony
good.
may.
Yeah, I will butcher the varietal, but it was a very tart red that had a little effervescence at the end.
I think it maybe was their Valdiguet.
Valdiguet, thank you. See,
You're
I
welcome.
knew I could draw that out somehow.
It's not an easy
But
one to say.
No, it's not.
Do you remember what you had in terms of the entree during your first visit?
It was a Varo bean with a local trout that was just prepared beautifully, and it really stood out as something that, like, wow, this is wrapping it up nicely and moving right into dessert.
I also love this roasted broccolini that was on a tonnato aioli, delicious. I'd never had tonnato before, and it changed my life. I just wiped the whole plate clean and took some for my husband. And for our main meal, I don't eat red meat, so he made a duck confit for me with polenta and some roasted carrots. The cook was perfect on it. Looked wonderful, smelled great, and the temperature was perfect. And it was just a nice meal. I think the timing of it was great too. Every course came out.
What about desserts?
I had a Basque-style cheesecake, so a crustless cheesecake, a little navel orange marmalade with kaffir lime and ginger. It was good. It was light, refreshing.
And I believe we had an orange spiced sponge cake for the night. I'm not a huge dessert person, but I did eat everything.
And
it had a nice dessert wine too.
I think there's always a fine balance. So you need it sweet, but not too sweet. And that cheesecake was just perfect with that marmalade.
All right, Anthony, your spot. Wrap it up for us.
It is a truly unique location, and it is a unique experience. I will be going back.
All right, MJ.
Intimate communal dining that celebrates the bounty of the Bay. Check out Anavivs Table.
And Jason.
Less of a restaurant and much more of a California culinary experience in a ticketed dinner party setting that is well worth the price of admission.
All right, if you would like to try Anavivs Table, it's located on Hoffman Boulevard at Potrero in Richmond. It's open for dinner Thursday through Saturday. Reservations are required, and the dinner tab per person with wine pairings range from around $120 to $130. MJ's Spot, located in El Cerrito, is her choice for authentic, traditional Thai delicacies that are hard to find anywhere else. Don't be fooled by its unassuming strip mall location. This is Larb Thai Food and Tapas.
We name Larb because the specialty dish from Northeast of Thailand, which is where his hometown, and the Larb very popular in Northeast Thailand. So I want to bring the Thailand here to East Bay. Our door opened in 2016 and we haven't looked back.
Yeah, I've started to learn to cook with my mom when I'm young, like 14-year-old. My mom cooked the food for the morning market. Sometimes my mom called me to help her cook.
Larb Thai food is almost everything homemade, especially the rice powder that we put in the larb is homemade and unique and smell really good. You cannot find anywhere else with the homemade rice powder. When you eat spicy food at Larb Thai, you can have the sticky rice after that or together that cool your spicy down. Our spices is really spicy. If you say like medium, it's like fire, but no worry, I'll call 911 for you.
All right, MJ, this is another little discovery, isn't it? Sort of hidden away.
It is.
That you wouldn't necessarily find.
It's in a strip mall in El Cerrito. So I moved there a couple of years ago, and when we saw this place, my idea of Thai food at that time was pad Thai, red curry, basil chicken. And when I sat down at this restaurant and like walking in immediately, I felt like I was back in Thailand in a night market. Like,
that sort of street food flair. And it even sort of captures that feel, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. It's casual, open, everybody's really friendly. And, the menu really reflects common street food items as well as home-cooked meals that they make there. And the husband and wife are from that area, northeastern Thailand.
In Isan.
In Isan, and so they really know the flavors.
Right.
So,
and larb is a meat salad, essentially, right?
Yes. So there's many choices. You can customize it however you'd like, but they offer it in chicken, beef, fish, shrimp, mushroom or tofu, and it's usually mixed with fresh shallots and green onion, peanuts, has the sourness of the lime with sweet and fish sauce. And it usually comes with crisp lettuce leaf, so I like putting the larb in there and eating it without utensils. It's really fun. And I usually get most of the dishes there medium because that's the spice level.
Medium spicy.
Hot? Yes,
spicy level.
And that's the spice level I can handle, but if you do like it hot, they definitely bring the heat here.
Some like it hot.
That's right.
All right, Anthony, what was your experience?
My favorite dish was the fish cakes with the cucumber and peanut salad. It was just a really delicious, but my one thing is it's hot. It's all hot. I think if you tell them medium, they get back in the kitchen like, right, I'm just going to get, it comes from the same pot. Because if you don't like hot food, this is not your place. But I've been to Thailand as well, and it did remind me of that fresh, seasonal, all the spices come together. But put your seatbelt on. It is fire. Yeah, medium was pretty hot.
It was pretty hot. Yeah.
What else did you have besides the fish cakes?
Let's see, we had calamari, some chicken wings, but their teriyaki salmon was delicious, but there was just a couple of bites. It was very small.
I had like virtually zero experience with northeastern Thailand or Laotian food. It's all kind of on that border, and so for me it was all very eye-opening, and I enjoyed it a ton. We ordered a little bit from the larb menu. We had the larb beef, which was, again, that sort of herbal, aromatic part of it, with the mint and cilantro. And I'm just a big fan of ground beef and tripe, by the way. So I was all so that beef.
You
one.
and one other person.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Ground beef and tripe,
there
everyone.
You go. Yeah. There you go. So that was actually really, really tasty. I enjoyed that quite a bit. We also ordered a little bit off the noodle menu, and one of the recommended dishes by the owner's wife was the Thai boat pork noodle soup, which is so distinctive in just the color of the broth. It's this beautiful burgundy hue, and it's got this sort of sweet herbal kind of flavor to it. And it's thickened with pork blood. Yeah. And then she recommended we have it with vermicelli noodles, and there's some sliced pork and liver and meatballs in there. That was probably my family's favorite dish that evening.
And I've literally seen people order off the Thai menu just that one particular dish, and that's all they'll order and all they'll eat there. So,
and I am curious about that, so with your description, I think I'll go back and give the noodles a shot for sure.
Did you have anything to wash stuff down?
Yeah, I ordered a tom yum beer, which is a beer that's brewed with lemongrass and kaffir lime leaves and Thai ginger, so it's very zesty, crisp. It was really nice compliment to all the spicy food that we were having.
I usually have Thai iced tea because I like that sweet that complements the spice and the heat of everything that I'm ordering. Also, I will have to mention my favorite dish is the crispy rice ball salad. If you haven't tried it yet, it is my go-to there.
Okay.
It's ingredients that you wouldn't think would go together necessarily. Crispy rice, it has pork, peanuts, ginger, and together, each bite, it just keeps developing flavors, and you'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally concur with MJ. That crispy rice ball salad was also a huge family favorite.
And what about the chicken wings? Did you mention chicken wings?
The chicken wings were great. They're crispy on the outside, and it was done really well. But again, it's just that the same sauce for the calamari is the same sauce for the chicken wings. So
it just was hot.
Yeah, exactly. The garlic sauce was hot.
All right, this is your spot. Wrap it up for us, MJ.
For authentic northeastern Thai street food, check out Larb in El Cerrito.
All right, and Anthony?
I would go back if I was close in that area, but it's not something that I'm just going to go out of my way to go back.
And Jason?
A mom and pop Thai restaurant, great neighborhood feel. With the focus on the Isan region. I think a great place if you're into spicy and funky flavors.
All right, if you would like to try Larb Thai Food Tapas, it's located on San Pablo at Central in El Cerrito. It's open for lunch and dinner every day except Tuesday, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $25. Post your favorite food shots on Instagram at #BayAreaBites. And have a chance to see your food pics on the show. Jason's San Francisco Eatery took over a prominent and historic dining room in 2016. It offers Cantonese food reimagined with the influence of contemporary California fine dining. One of the hippest spots in Chinatown, it's Mister Jiu's.
I love this food, Chinese food, and I always wanted to figure out how I can express my training and really like the bounty of the Bay Area through Chinese techniques. I felt really strongly about opening this business here because I wanted to be a spokesperson for this community and for this food. Hi, my name is Brandon Jiu. I'm the chef owner of Mister Jiu's in San Francisco, Chinatown. Something that we wanted to bring to the neighborhood is one, just like a revival of the legacy that's been in this building, but also wanting locals to feel like there was a spot that was speaking to the local produce. Also the growth of California cuisine. I wanted people to really value Chinese cuisine and understand like the traditions and the techniques that are in this cuisine. I think they deserve to be on the same level of French cuisine and Italian cuisine. I've cooked those cuisines. When we had to close for shelter in place, I think the ramp down was a little more drastic here in Chinatown. At the 2-week mark, I realized this was going to be longer and that we needed to start to get some of the wheels turning. We just kind of came together and said, let's do something here. So 5 days a week, we cook for World Central Kitchen. We do about 200 meals, give or take. Some days 150, some days is close to 300. And then we started to integrate Larb Jius shortly thereafter, and now the grocery concept that we've been ramping up on. Larb Jius is a collaboration between Lord Stanley and Mister Jiu. We do a 5-course tasting menu that's all packaged with instructions. So that menu changes every week. Jius Ho Ho was like a little more casual grocery situation. Like, it was a retirement plan of ours just to have a little corner store, go off to the pasture, eventually. This neighborhood is going to need places that are open so that people can feel like they're contributing to this neighborhood's success and the community here. So I feel responsible to get open here. Yeah, it's going to be a fight, but yeah, we'll be ready for it. Yeah.
So when we talk about tucked away, this really is tucked away.
Yeah, Waverly Place is the street/alley where Mister Jiu resides, and Mister Jiu was opened in 2016, and it took over space that formerly was occupied by a pretty famous restaurant called 4 Cs for decades.
And the sign still sort of pays homage to it, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely, yes.
And the 4 Cs.
Exactly.
This is really modern and chic sort of take on things. Talk to us about what you order when you go in.
Yeah, so there's a dim sum section, small bite section of the menu, and you can get barbecue pork buns, which is probably one of the top 3 things you order when you go to dim sum. But he is able to create the bun, in-house. He uses the best quality, pork belly. He roasts that, and traditionally it's actually just colored with food coloring, right? It's just red dye additives. So he's able to create that vibrant red color for the meat by using beets, by using fermented tofu, so it's all natural, all organic. And then just sort of with a little extra nod towards San Francisco, he makes this Dutch crunch exterior to the bun.
Yum.
Fantastic. It's just really clever. It's got the original Cantonese recipe with the California spin.
Which is kind of the signature of all the dishes.
Yes,
what was your, let's start with you, Anthony. What was your experience there?
So the waiter comes and explains, you should probably order 6 to 8 different dishes. And that might sound like a lot for just 2 people, but the portions are just fantastic. And the seasonal part of it in the pot sticker for both the wrapper and the filling, with a black vinegar sauce that just cuts right through the earthiness and complements it very well. So if you like to sample a lot of different dishes and love Chinese food, you're going to get a true Chinese experience as opposed to the American version where one sauce is on half the menu and a different sauce on the other half.
There's definitely a California twist, a twist of really modern ingredients and things like that. What was your experience?
I think the best dish that we had was that fried rice. The right amount of vegetables stir-fried in there. So that really showcases what he was saying, that he's bringing Western touches to these really traditional dishes. The right amount of vegetables stir-fried in there is delicious. It was one of the best things we ordered that night. I wish I would have tried the Dutch Crunch pork buns because we're really looking forward to that, but they were out of it.
Oh. Well, that left you a little time right in there for some cocktails.
I did have, yeah, I enjoyed those very much.
So they tranquility,
yes,
longevity, and happiness with gin,
yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Gin, you're happy when you drink gin.
Yeah,
so
I really enjoyed
Talk about those.
I had the Vitality drink. It had carrot juice and bourbon and lime, and it was the best energy drink that you could have.
Did they update I wasn't there at the 4 Cs. Did they update the interior or?
So yeah, the only remnants of the original Four Cs would be these gold lotus chandeliers that you guys probably saw hanging over the main dining room, and some of the brass pendant lamps like kind of off to the side. So that's kind of his little nod to the previous occupants. It doesn't look particularly familiar, but it feels very familiar. It's a convivial place, you know, lots of conversation going on, small groups, multi-generational families in the middle of the restaurant. I mean, very
Lazy
familiar.
Susan spinning.
Yeah, and the Lazy Susans are, you know, built into the table, very modern touch, so very cool.
This is your spot, Jason. Wrap it up for us.
Mister Jiu's showcases Cantonese California cuisine that is both evocative and transformative, created by a thoughtful, local-born chef who is more than deserving of all the accolades he's receiving.
All right, and MJ.
Mister Jiu's, go without a budget and lots of time, and you will have wonderful cocktails there.
Okay, Anthony.
A bit pricey, but definitely worth the trip to San Francisco. I'll be back.
Okay, if you would like to try Mister Jiu's, it's located on Waverly Place at Sacramento in San Francisco. It's open for dinner Tuesday through Saturday. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $50. I have to thank my guests on this week's show, Anthony Napple, who invited us to his intimate and welcoming spot, Anavivs Table in Richmond, MJ Baker, who shared her authentic and flavorful Thai pick at Larb Thai Food and Tapas in El Cerrito, and Jason Fung, who shared his hip eatery, Mister Jiu's, in the heart of San Francisco's Chinatown. Join us next time when 3 more guests will recommend their favorite spots right here on Check Please Bay Area. I'm Leslie Sbrocco, and I'll see you then. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Look at those. We really want to hear about your experiences at any of the restaurants we've been talking about. So keep in touch with us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And don't forget that you can watch any of the shows on our website at kqed.org/checkplease. It's where you'll find links to the restaurants and my notes on the wines we're drinking today. Cheers.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by the following sponsors whom we gratefully acknowledge for their steadfast support during these uncertain times.
Cooking is the first kind of love you know. It was starting when I was a child with my grandmother doing fresh pasta, and now I transmit it to all the guests. It's something made specially for them.
Oceana Cruises, proud sponsor of Check Please Bay Area.
It's the transplant procedure that didn't just save one life. It saved 6. It's 1,000 things, big and small. Sutter Health.
The Bay Area airport that's close and reliable. iFlyOAK.com. Total Wine & More offering more than 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 3,000 spirits. Total Wine & More now with 9 Bay Area locations. TotalWine.com.
At Redwood Credit Union, we help people achieve their financial goals together, offering customized full-service personal and business banking for the North Bay and San Francisco. Redwood Credit Union.